What's cracking, my photography and phonography friends today? Hope you're all doing really well. As you may have guessed, today we're looking at the Vivo V23 5G. This phone is super jam-packed full of really great features, especially when we consider its price tag. Now, I'm no tech reviewer, but as a photographer and videographer, I am super interested to see how these cameras perform in real world situations. I've had this phone with me for the past few weeks, traveling through parts of Canada and the US, taking heaps of photos. So let's jump in and take a look at some of the specs before we look at some photos. And quickly, just a big thanks to Vivo for sending me this phone to make this video on as well. So first of all, taking a look at this phone, the design is actually really impressive. This is easily one of the nicest phones I've seen. For a reasonably priced phone, the design was certainly not sacrificed on this one. I really do love the look of it. Here I have the Stardust black color. It also comes in some other colors, including a sunshine gold that does really stand out. The cool thing about this phone, which I really haven't seen before, is the material. So it actually gradually changes its color upon exposure to any ultraviolet light. So this is a super cool effect. Hopefully you can kind of see it there as I turn the phone up against the light. Really nice effect. It looks even better in person. It has this aluminum finish on the sides. Also really love how slim it feels in hand, and also the 2.5D curved screen. The screen itself is a 6.44 inch AMOLED screen. For me, not liking phones that are super large, this is a really great size for me, and it still feels really comfortable in the hand. To touch on some other specs, it also comes ready for 44-watt flash charge. It has a 90 Hz refresh rate, perfect for most things and all your general usage. Lastly, it operates on the FunTouch OS 12 based Android system. But perhaps the most impressive thing about this phone is its camera setup. So let's take a look at some photos, which is what I am, of course, most interested in. So the rear camera setup has 3 cameras, a 64 megapixel night camera, an 8 megapixel super wide angle camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. So I'll be testing all of these in a sec. Looking at the front camera, it actually comes with a 50 megapixel IAF dual selfie camera. Super crazy for a front camera. The dual setup consists of this 50 megapixel IAF camera, as well as a super wide angle night selfie camera as well. So if you do love taking selfies, this might just be the phone for you. So firstly here, looking at some photos taken with the rear camera setup. This phone is super easy to use. If you do want to use the Pro mode even, this is really easy to do. You certainly don't have to be a pro to use Pro mode. It's very easy to pop this into RAW, which means you're going to get a lot more data in your photos if you want to go and edit them later on as well. But the photos do look great straight out of the camera as well. So here you can see a whole bunch that I've actually edited just using some of my presets, and even just with preset editing, they have turned out really great as well. You'll find all your other modes here like portrait and also panorama, which I've tested out a bit as well. It's also great on the rear camera setup here. We have a macro lens, which opens up opportunities to play around with macro photography as well. So even just at home, I've been playing around with this by spraying some water on a plant. You can see you get some really cool effects that you can play around with the macro lens as well. So next up, looking at perhaps what stands out most about this particular phone, which is the selfie camera. It performs really well. You can see even here in portrait mode, I really love the effect it's created. Often on phones, you get this kind of unclear kind of mismatch between the background and the subjects, but even with multiple people here, it's performed really well. Having that 50 megapixel selfie camera is really impressive, and it does a really great job. You also find it locks onto the eye straight away. So as soon as you jump into that frame, the phone will lock on and automatically find your eye, which means you're always going to be in focus. This seems to pretty much hit all the time. I haven't had any problems with it missing focus, so that is really impressive on this phone as well. For me, I don't often take a lot of selfies, but since having this phone, I have found myself taking more because the quality of them is so great, and they're just great to have for memories, especially when you're traveling like I was. So the video on this phone also performs really well and has great options like slow motion, ultra stabilization, and also time-lapse modes. So I have taken this phone out a few times here in Sydney as well at night, just to test out how it performs in low light situations. Both the selfie and rear camera actually really do shine at night, performing really well. All right, so that's the Vivo V23 5G. For me, this is a really impressive phone, especially when you consider the price tag. You're getting a really great phone, a really great looking phone, jam-packed full of great specs, especially for photography, videography, selfies. This is a really great phone. I think Vivo have really hit the nail on the head for that kind of mid-tier model. All right, thanks so much for watching. As always, keep on creating and keep on growing, my friends. If you did like what you saw in this video, don't forget to subscribe. All right, catch you in the next one. Bye for now.